Right now on IUSTV News, 1 year down, Bloomington Mayor Kerry Thomson reflects on her first year in office. Hear what she says will be her top priority in the new year.
Plus, public pushback. Why City Council is getting heat from some in the community over a proposed ordinance. We have the reason.
And an arrest is made in the killing of a CEO of a major health insurance company, who police say they believe is responsible.
And we've got snow chances coming up in this week's forecast. We have more coming up after this.
Bloomington Mayor Kerry Thomson is approaching the 1-year mark to her first term in office. Thanks for joining us. I'm Grace Marocco.
And I'm Dana Behlmer. You're watching IUSTV News. Thomson sat down with her Ashton Hackman to talk about this past year and what is ahead for her administration in the new year.
Mayor Thomson, thank you for making the time to speak today. I know we are 1 year down in your first year as mayor. Looking back, I want to go back to the May 2023 primary. You know, being in Monroe County, we are pretty much a Democratic county. What do you think stood out for as a candidate to a field of Democratic candidates? What helped you punch through all the competitors?
I think Bloomington was really ready for a change. I came from outside. I was the only candidate that was not in elected office, had not been heavily involved with even the party in the past. But the other thing is that I have a really strong housing background. And in this moment, not just in Bloomington, but throughout our entire country, housing is it. It is the focus for our country. We all need it, and Bloomington is no different. And so my vision for providing attainable housing to Bloomington, I think was pretty critical for many voters.
And I did want to talk on that issue. I know that was a topic that we discussed over the summer when it came to addressing homelessness in Bloomington. We're getting closer to the winter months. It's already cold out there right now. Looking back at the proposal that you guys have already put forward this past summer with this housing action plan, do you see success so far? It's only been a few months, but are you already starting to see some indicators of how this plan is working?
We are. There's subtle changes right now, but we are seeing what we believe are decreased numbers right now. And several steps have been put into place. We are working with a community foundation on a fund that should be announced relatively shortly to do reunification for people who may have come here thinking that there were housing resources here for them and then found that there were none. So reunify them with the communities where they have a support network. And then, of course, our emergency winter shelter that's faith-based is already up and running. And we are really looking to provide additional funding through several different streams for case management and really some services that will help us help people where they are get to the next step of housing. You
mentioned focused on the future. Besides affordable housing, what's going to be top of mind for you when we turn the calendar to 2025?
Our identity as a city. You ask anybody in Bloomington what they love about Bloomington, why are you here? And for most of us, it takes us 10 or 20 minutes to list all of the things that are special about Bloomington. But we have a really hard time articulating that thing. What is it? And describing it. And we all use different words. It's important that we're able to do that because differentiating ourselves in today's world is critical. It's critical to attracting that population growth. It's also critical to our business growth and articulating what kinds of sector development we're really going to specialize here. If we try to be everything to everybody, we will be nobody. And so we already have some specialties that have emerged that we're really good at, but there are a few others that are starting to emerge. And so we will be investing in some work that will help the community articulate who we are, what's special about us, and where we're headed. And that will really set the stage for our economic development, but also a lot of pride of place.
There's a lot from Ashton's interview with Mayor Thomson, and we have the full unedited interview up right now, and you can find that on our website at IUSTV.com and on YouTube. All right, let's get a check of the weather, and rumor has it that snow might be coming to Bloomington.
I think some snow could do us a favor. You know, in Indiana it gets pretty cold, but we haven't had a white Christmas in a while.
I think so too,
It's been a minute.
and Quentin has more on the weather.
Yeah, for today, we're not going to see that. We got temperatures at 55 and 54 pretty much across the board for us here in southern Indiana. As for us here tonight, we got temperatures in the mid 40s pretty much throughout the evening. Nothing too drastic to change. As for your morning walk, low 40s. Pretty easy. A little bit of sunshine in the morning, but mostly cloudy, and a little bit of rain coming in. For Tuesday, we have Wednesday snow chances, some cooler temps to follow that up, and then we have your weekend forecast coming up.
Thanks, Quentin. Public pushback has delayed a vote on major increases to city council salaries.
Now, council returns to the drawing board for a new proposal. Our Lola Regan is in studio with more on what this now means. Lola.
That's right. Council now meets tomorrow night to come forward with the plan. Under the previous plan, council members would see a 115% raise, totaling over $45,000 a year. Councilmember Isaac Azari called out his fellow councilors, saying that the raise was unnecessary and way too high. At their meeting last week, council agreed to send the proposal back to the committee establishing the salary rates. The proposal would also have given the city clerk a 50% raise to nearly $129,000. Mayor Thomson would then be taking home over $150,000 in 2025. Council will discuss salaries in a special meeting Tuesday night. It will be back in front of the full council at the regular Wednesday meeting. We will, of course, keep you updated. Grace, back to you.
Thanks, Lola. An arrest has been made in connection to the killing of United Healthcare CEO in Midtown Manhattan last week.
A man was detained just hours ago in Pennsylvania after police got a tip from the public. Here's Laura Aguirre.
Police in Pennsylvania have arrested a man they believe could be connected to the fatal shooting of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thomson in Manhattan last week.
Members of the Altoona Police Department arrested Luigi Mangione, a 26-year-old male, on firearms charges.
This comes just hours after a tip was phoned into police by an Altoona, Pennsylvania McDonald's employee after a patron pointed out the man.
The McDonald's employee did something we ask every American to do. If you see something, say something, but most importantly, do something.
New York's police commissioner says Mangione was carrying several fraudulent IDs and a U.S. passport.
Upon further investigation, officers recovered a firearm on his person, as well as a suppressor, both consistent with the weapon used in the murder.
The gunman was seen on security cameras using a weapon outfitted with a silencer. Police say he checked into this Manhattan hostel 10 days before the killing, using a fake New Jersey ID. And it was during a flirtatious moment with a hostel front desk clerk that gave police and the nation the suspect's full face. Investigators are now working to see if firearm ballistics and recovered DNA evidence link to Mangione.
Additionally, officers recovered a handwritten document that speaks to both his motivation and mindset.
NYPD detectives are on their way to Pennsylvania to question Mangione, who they say had no prior arrests in New York. I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
Investigators believe Mangione acted alone and say he was carrying what's called a ghost gun that may have been 3D printed. A private memorial service for United Healthcare CEO Brian Thomson was held on Monday.
IU police are asking for your help finding a person wanted in a recent theft case. Get a look at your screen. IUPD tells us this man is believed to have taken a pair of Apple AirPod Max headphones from the Bill Garrett Fieldhouse. We're told a student filed the report with police on November 7th. If you recognize this person, you're asked to call IUPD.
And with winter break right around the corner, thefts from dorms are expected to become more common.
You might remember it was a serious issue last year. Our Oliver Carr talked with IU police and has how you can help keep yourself from becoming a victim.
One of the top stories this time last year, dorm theft. thousands of dollars worth of stolen goods, which IU police say is easily preventable.
So what we see most often in the residence halls is folks leave in a hurry. They maybe don't close their door all the way, and then unfortunately when they come back from break, they see that items are missing from their residence hall.
But it's not just dorm theft. Over winter break, bikes and e-scooters, already a common target, become even easier to steal.
My bike was chained up outside of my dorm. You know, it was chained up, it was locked up fine, but when I got down there, it was just missing. Well, first you start thinking, like, did I misplace it, or did I just, park at my friend's house, or where? Because, like, I've always had it. You always have your bike. It's kind of like an essential, and when it's gone, there's a sinking feeling for sure.
To protect yourself from being a part of the next headline, make sure to write down the serial number of your cycles or scooters, as IU police can help recover those stolen items.
Make sure to secure your windows and doors. Try not to leave any valuables out in plain sight. And make sure you also forward mail and packages, stuff like that. Try not to leave it sitting at your door, at your front step while you're away visiting family for home.
It's quite a simple task to protect yourself from what could otherwise be a huge loss. You can never be too safe. For IUSTV News, I'm Oliver Carr.
We've got the full list of tips and how you can file a theft report. Just find this story on our website at IUSTV.com.
Charges have officially been filed against an IU student accused of vandalizing the Herman B. Wells statue as a part of protest in October. Luke Summers is charged misdemeanor criminal mischief. IU police tells us the vandalism was reported October 7th. Summers allegedly put red paint and a Gaza flag on the statue and painted several bridges. Police conducted a search warrant on Summers' phone on October 10th. A search reportedly found pictures of the vandalism and location data that shows Summers was in the area. They are due back in court in February. IU's Pastillion Solidarity community criticized the arrest, saying in a statement to IUSTV News, quote, "This is only the latest in a series of attacks against our movement and our organizers. The IU administration has made it clear that they are willing to use a wide variety of methods to discourage students from speaking out. The movement of Palestine at IU refuses to let intimidation deter us from taking necessary action against our institutions and perpetrating the genocide," end quote.
An August rape was reported to IUPD last week. We're told it happened on the Bloomington campus on August 19th. The victim came forward on December 4th. IUPD tells us the case has not been reported to police and came from the Title IX office. There have been 22 reported sexual assaults on the Bloomington campus since the start of the semester. And after more than a year of delays and backlash, the City Gateway is finally complete.
Still ahead, the final price tag on the project, what could be coming to the site, and how you can help decide. Plus, bus service is expanding outside city limits. Find out where a new route will connect with other parts of the community.
But first, more tensions in the Middle East. We have the latest on the collapse of the Syrian regime and what U.S. military leaders say to expect. We're back in a few. A transition is underway in Syria today after rebel forces took down the country's brutal dictatorship.
It's a moment of celebration and hope for many Syrians, but the future of the country remains unclear.
Amy Kiley reports the U.S. and several allies have a stake in what happens next.
What happens now in the aftermath of the Assad regime?
U.S. interests in the Middle East hang in the balance after the fall of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad's brutal dictatorship. Rebel forces say they control the capital city of Damascus. An official source in Russia says Assad has taken refuge in Moscow.
He'll be remembered as one of the most violent rulers in response to the uprisings that started in late 2010 in the Arab world.
Analysts say the overthrow of Assad helps the U.S.
This is good for the Syrian people. It is good for the region. It is bad for Russia and Iran, thus good for the rest of the world.
The U.S. is taking steps to prevent a resurgence of ISIS during the transition. U.S. Central Command says the American military has struck more than 75 ISIS targets in Syria. Officials also are watching rebel leader Abu Mohammed al-Jawlani.
Jolani and his movement, HTS, fought the Islamic State, and while he is officially still on the terrorist list, we haven't seen any what we would consider terrorist activities out of that movement for a good deal of time.
President-elect Donald Trump is urging the U.S. not to get involved with what's happening in Syria. President Joe Biden is pledging support for regional allies.
It's a moment of historic opportunity for the long-suffering people of Syria. It's also a moment of risk and uncertainty.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
In his victory speech, al-Jolani told us the U.S. and Israel, their, quote, interests are understood in the new Syria.
A 20-year-old man is facing child sex charges after police say he was caught in the middle of a sex act involving a 13-year-old girl. Gabriel Hensley of Canby is charged with child molesting and possession of child porn. Court documents say Hensley was staying at a family friend's house, and the girl's family called police after walking into a room where Hensley was reportedly naked with the girl. She told police Hensley asked her to have sex. Hensley has denied those allegations.
A Bloomington woman is charged with giving her brother drugs that caused a fatal overdose earlier this year. Cursite Protoblaw is charged with dealing a controlled substance resulting in death, a level 1 felony. Court documents state Protoblaw brought fentanyl-laced meth for her brother. He died in March of this year. The coroner confirmed he died from a fentanyl overdose. Police used text messages and witness interviews to tie Protoblaw to the crime. She is due back in court in February.
The Indiana Supreme Court has denied a request to pause the state's first execution in 15 years. Attorneys for Joseph Corcoran filed the request back in November. A full written opinion on the reasons for the denial are expected at a later date. Corcoran was convicted in 1999 for the quadruple shooting deaths of his brother, his sister's fiance, and 2 of their friends. He would be the first execution in Indiana since 2009. He is set to be executed on December 18th.
A new Bloomington Transit bus route is coming to the west side and will take riders outside of city limits. Route 13 begins service on January 2nd. It will connect downtown to Vernal Pike, Curry Pike, and the Ivy Tech campus. Buses will operate Monday through Friday from 6:40 in the morning to 6:30 at night. The bus fare is $1, but free to IU students with a valid Crimson card.
And back here at home, the Bloomington Bicentennial Gateway project is finally complete after a couple months of construction. You can see the gate after you turn off of State Road 46 and onto North College Avenue. The gateway is about 52 feet long and 10 feet high, made of Bloomington's famous limestone blocks. The Bloomington Arts Commission has the plan to obtain design proposals in February of next year for an additional art piece near the gateway.
The IU School of Education has a new dean. Robert Berry III joins IU from the University of Arizona. He starts on April 1st. He will oversee academic and research programs and manage faculty, staff, and resources.
The IU chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity has been suspended from campus. IU tells us it's because of hazing, physical abuse, endangering others, and dishonest conduct. 9 other Greek organizations are suspended from campus as well. IUSTV News has requested documents related to the investigation into Kappa Alpha Psi, and we'll update you when we know more about the case. The frat is eligible to return to campus in 2027.
Next on IUSTV News, respiratory virus season is getting underway. Where the numbers stand in today's Health Minute.
Plus, it's been a really warm day, clear skies. We'll hear more about it later. Quentin has a check on the forecast on the other side of the break. It's been a relatively slow start to respiratory virus season, but U.S. health officials fear that the trend is about to end as vaccination rates remain low.
And it's already putting children and some minority groups at increased risk. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has a look at where virus levels stand now and why experts say vaccination is a key to protection.
Across the U.S., respiratory virus season is ramping up. Emergency department visits for diagnosed RSV are now moderate for the first time this season, with a main increase in the illness among young children. And preliminary CDC data estimates up to 1.5 million flu cases, up to 22,000 hospitalizations, and up to 2,100 flu deaths between October 1st and November 30th. These viruses, along with COVID-19, are expected to increase.
The present vaccination rate is similar to previous years, but it's still running below what it did prior to COVID.
The CDC says vaccination for flu, COVID-19, and RSV will be key to preventing severe illness. The agency recommends everyone 6 months and older get the flu and updated COVID-19 shots. The one-time RSV vaccine is recommended for adults 75 and older and those between the ages of 60 and 74 at high risk of severe disease. Those pregnant can also protect against RSV with a shot between 27 and 36 weeks of pregnancy, and infants up to 8 months old born during this season can receive 1 dose of monoclonal antibodies.
Right now, RSV is the leading cause of infant hospitalizations in the U.S.
For Health Minute, I'm Andy Gaither.
Turning to weather now, it's December. It's supposed to be cold, but it's been really warm the past 2 days.
Today was nice. It was not bad at all. But today, like we're showing, nothing but temperatures at 55 degrees. And then for tomorrow, we got temperatures at 41, 46, and 45. We've got like a 30% chance of rain midday, but besides that, it'll clear out by the time the afternoon gets here. This is where we're going to lead into the chances for snow. We've still got that rain chance, that's 30% chance of isolated showers tomorrow midday. And then after that system clears through on Tuesday afternoon, we'll see those chances of snow come in Wednesday morning around 1 o'clock. Nothing but a bunch of flurries, shouldn't be anything too crazy to worry about, but those wind gusts, really cold. And then midday, in between 1 o'clock to about 6 o'clock, we'll see the most amount of chance for snow tomorrow. Excuse me, but mostly flurries, nothing more than maybe 1/3 of an inch. And then by the time that system gets out of here, we'll see those wind gusts build up to about 25 miles per hour. And then for our Thursday, our highs, you're looking at them, nothing very, very warm at all. 25 for our high tomorrow or on Thursday here in Bloomington, and then pretty much about the same throughout our board for southern Indiana. And then throughout the day, again, the sun's going to be out, but the temperatures just aren't going to be there. We're going to, again, see maybe 26, 25 for our high on Thursday. And then as for our 7-day outlook, we got that 20% chance of rain for Tuesday, the 40% chance of snow showers for Wednesday, and then clearing out. We got chances of rain building into Friday and Saturday with temperatures in the mid-40s, a break on Sunday, and then those rain chances come back with 60% on Monday.
This is definitely some of the weather that we tend to typically see in December. So.
Yes, we're finally gonna dip that toe back into those cold,
which is not what I wanted
December
to hear.
chances. I'm sorry.
I love the warm temperatures, and I don't want to see snow.
What are you
Christmas.
complaining about? You're gonna be leaving and going to Italy or wherever the heck you're going.
I do not want it to be cold.
You'll be fine. You'll at least be able to enjoy the snow for Christmas.
Exactly. Well, next in sports, the Hoosiers have clinched the college football playoffs. Oliver has a recap in sports. Stay with us.
Indiana's historic 66-0 victory over Purdue has the Hoosiers riding high as the only team wearing crimson in the college football playoff. I'm Oliver Carr, and here's a look at sports. Curtis Rourke threw for 349 yards and 6 touchdowns in a dominant performance, reclaiming the Old Oaken bucket and capping a school record 11-win regular season. Now, number 10 Indiana faces number 7 Notre Dame in South Bend in the college football playoff. The Irish, also 11-1, are on a 10-game win streak and boast a dual-threat quarterback in Riley Leonard, who's thrown for over 2,000 yards and rushed for 700 more. And what many would assume to be an in-state rival actually isn't. IU hasn't played Notre Dame since 1991, and before that, 1958. The game is set for Friday, December 20th, with the winner earning a date with the SEC champion Georgia Bulldogs in the Sugar Bowl. IU went 2-0 last week, improving their record to 7-2 on the season as they start off conference play. IU played Sam Houston State last Tuesday, winning 97-71. They were led by scoring with Miles Rice. He had 19 points, with Malik Renew posting a double-double with 18 points and 10 assists. Last Friday, IU played Miami of Ohio, winning 76-57, after being up only 3 points at halftime. They were led in scoring by Malik Renew, who put up 19 points and 7 rebounds. They also received help from Omar Bayo, who had his first double-double of the season with 14 points and 18 rebounds. IU is back in action tonight against the Golden Gophers. IU women are starting to look like their old selves with a comeback win over USI and a decisive win against Penn State. IU women played the University of Southern Indiana last Wednesday, winning 67-63. After being down 42-29 at half, they came back to win, only letting USI score 21 points in the second half to IU's 38. Shea Chesky led in scoring with 17 points and 3 of 5 from behind the arc, as IU had a decisive win at Happy Valley on Saturday with a 15-point victory, only trailing 3 times. Carolyn Striplin led all scorers with 27 points off the bench. IU is back in action on Sunday against Behlmer. And for the latest on all things IU sports, be sure to tune in each week to Hoosier Sports Night. You can catch it on Thursdays on IUSTV. That's all for sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Oliver. I was so happy to hear about IU going to the playoffs, but have you guys seen the price for those tickets?
Oh my gosh,
so
they're like $1,400.
So,
it's nuts.
So much.
But did you get the email where you can get them for like $95?
I signed up for that.
Yeah, they
I
sent
did.
out an email where you can get them for, it's like a raffle or something. But
Oh my
there's
gosh.
only a limited amount.
Well,
Only if we win,
it's
too.
going to be
Yeah.
a good game and hopefully good weather too. And
Yeah.
then what's the weather looking like for the next 7 days?
Again, for the next 7 days, we got that 20 to 30% chance of rain tomorrow, midday, then clearing out, and then getting into those snow chances for Wednesday with about 40% between 1 to 6. Look out for that. And then Thursday, sunny, but real brisk and cold. Friday and Saturday, those rain chances come back with temperatures around the mid-40s. And then Sunday, we'll take a break, and then Monday, we'll see those rain chances come back with 60%.
Perfect. I like those higher temperatures.
Hey, that's all I could do. I'm trying to call on the weather
Yes,
gods, but
please,
that's all they
please.
could give me.
Thanks, Quentin.
Yeah, of course.
And thank you for watching IUSTV News.
For updates between newscasts, check out IUSTV.com and be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and X. We're back here tomorrow night. See you guys then.